Hello again, gold hunters! If you caught my last video, you know I recently trekked across Western Australia to learn the art of gold prospecting from the legends themselves, Tony and Lisa Pilkington of Gold Talk Leonora. And while my journey was all about the hunt for that elusive shimmer, I ended up striking gold in a different way. I wasn't planning on filming an interview, and as you can probably tell from my glorious scorpion tail-like hair, I wasn't exactly prepared for one either. But when Tony accepted my offer to share some of his decades-long wisdom, there was no way I was going to pass up the chance. Think of this as the ultimate behind-the-scenes look, straight from the man who knows the difference between a rusty nail and a genuine treasure. So grab a coffee and get ready for a masterclass in gold prospecting. Tony is about to drop some serious knowledge and maybe a dad joke or two. Good day, folks. I'm at Gold Talk Leonora, and we have done our third day of course, gold prospecting. Tony is here with me. He is the owner of the business, and he is the teacher. Should I call teacher?
That's good enough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And also with Lisa, his partner.
My wife Lisa is actually the owner, and I am the servant and slave and maintenance man. I think that's a better way to.
Should I edit the video before it goes up?
I think it's safer for me if we can do that. But no, Tony Pilkington, Gold Talk Leonora, as Millard said, and Lisa and myself are professional prospectors, have been for a long time, and fortunate to be a third generation prospector in this area. My grandfather was full-time prospector, my father was part-time prospector, and so I've been pretty much cursed from birth. Yeah, but it's been wonderful having you here for the last 3 days. But I'm glad now that the time is up.
Fantastic. So, how did it start?
Well, the prospecting in general started for us as a boy, and I was being dragged around the state of Western Australia by my mum and dad, prospecting and everything else. So it's sort of been a family business, and Lisa and I have done other things and farming and tried living in a city, and that never worked out well. And interestingly enough, so prospecting's always been what I've done, and Lisa was prospecting on her own in Alaska. She was working over there, so we wound up hooking up, as they say, and it was several years actually down the track we realised that we had a sort of or several months down the track we found that we had a common interest, and the rest, as they say, is history. It's still going strong after many years.
Nice. And I think to me, and probably to most of the people who have heard about prospecting but never done prospecting,
Yeah.
sounds more like a myth
Yeah.
than reality. But when I came here, I met you guys, and then we went out to the bush. I found massive pieces of junk, not nuggets, unfortunately. But it works. It works for people.
It sure does. So I find being a professional prospector absolutely fills me with pride. I love telling people what I do for a living, and I'm very proud of it. Partially because of the family history and just the overall historical side of it, but also just it's absurd. It is absolutely bizarre when you think about it, that people in the year 2025, we can go out to the bush and we can actually make a living out of extracting raw gold out of the ground and selling it to eat and survive and everything else. It's just mind-blowing.
I really love the reward, because you're spending so much time, maybe not so much time for you, but as a beginner for me, so much time in the bush, which is very joyful, and then you get the reward, and it's like that
hits the dopamine level in you, and I really love that. I mean, it's not probably about the money for me; it's the joy.
What I find, sort of, and we've been training people with Gold Talk Leonora for approximately 10 years now, so we've got a bit of an exposure to that side of it. The measure of success of gold prospecting is finding gold, and it's not easy. If it was easy, everyone would be doing it, and gold would not be worth what it's worth today. And one of the things that motivates myself is seeing what we call new chums, people that are new to prospecting, that find their first gold, and just the look on their face does it all for me. It's a hard thing to do, and that's what makes it special. If it's easy, it's not worth it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So when you talk to some of the prospectors, probably not very experienced or very successful prospectors, they would say, "Oh, the gold's gone." Would you say here we are fortunate? We are in Leonora. We are fortunate to have such a good deposit, and it's necessarily in particular places, or you can literally go anywhere and find gold.
The truth is that my humble opinion is that there is more gold in the ground than has ever come out, and I'm talking about at a company level, which you're involved in, and also from a prospector's perspective. There is a lot of gold left. Now, before you go out and rush out and spend $10,000 on a metal detector, you need to temper that, I guess the expectations. We need to temper that and say, well, yes, it's there, but the individual needs to do their apprenticeship. They need to learn the ropes. They need to, whether it's learning how to drive a car or do anything. Prospecting is no different. And the more that you do it and the more experience you gain, the easier it becomes. Right? But it's that learning curve that weeds out most people, and the ones that are not sort of resilient enough, I guess is the right word, they don't make it. But the rewards are definitely there, but it's not a guarantee, and that is the hard thing.
Yeah.
That's the hard thing.
And because you mentioned about the detectors, like the type of and model of the detector, so
Yeah.
I got my detectors as a second-hand model, GPX 4500. I got it from a gentleman who was upgrading his detector to 7000. And I went down south to Esperance, and I thought, okay, I've got some geology background, I can find gold. But then I found the rusted screwdriver.
Nice.
Beautiful, vintage.
Yep. With the handle?
With the handle.
Nice.
Yeah, but I didn't keep it. And that was the point. No, I actually went out again another time, and I couldn't really find anything, and I was not even sure if I was doing it right. So I found you guys. I was like, I need someone to teach me what prospecting is, because it's not just pure geology. And by saying that, I don't mean that you don't need to know geology at all, but it's not enough.
It's a different skill set. One of my favourite sayings is that prospectors find gold, and then a geologist can tell you why it's there. And that's no disrespect to geologists or applicants or anything like that. It's just I place the two skills in conjunction, but they're definitely separate. A prospect, and I think it's an interesting little statistic that almost every deposit of gold in Western Australia has been found by prospectors, not by geologists. Yeah, and that's actually a fact.
And by the way, Tony and I had a really good banter about the geology.
Tete-a-tete, yes.
So, what are your advices for people who are interested in prospecting, have probably zero knowledge, and they've just heard that it doesn't work, or maybe it works, but they can't really fact check if that's going to work for them or not?
Yeah. As an aside, that's one of the main reasons Lisa and I started this business 10 years ago, doing the training courses for new chums, because there's so much misinformation out there, and we just wanted to cut through the nonsense and say, right, this is the reality. This is the information you need to try and be successful. No guarantees. The thing I would say to anyone that likes the idea of it is to have realistic expectations. And I'm always in favour of shooting for the stars. I think that's. I think you don't serve yourself or anyone else by underplaying things. And I think the main thing is just have a go. It's whether it's prospecting or just anything in life, is get out and try, see if you like it.
Yeah.
I think with any, whether it's a hobby, any hobby or profession or vocation, I think that if you like it, then you'll stick with it. If you like it, you'll do it. But you don't know if you like it until you try.
Yeah, that's right.
We're all sold with dreams. We can dream of travelling around Australia, or we can dream of finding a big nugget, or getting married and having kids, or whatever it is. But until you actually take the plunge and try these things out, we don't know if it's going to be for you or not. So have a go.
Sure. Let me pause it for a second.
I think that was just fucking awesome, actually.
You
didn't press play?
No, it's recording. I just wanted to make sure that it's still recording.
Okay. Can you remember more questions, or like you out now?
I can ask
You're
a
just
couple of more questions.
You got nothing, have you? You
No.
you're making this shit up and going. Hopefully, you're going to edit that bit out. Maybe not.
Yeah. Does the model matter?
Of detector?
Yeah.
The short answer to that is yes, to a point, depending on what you want to try and achieve out of prospecting. If you are there to make money, and that is your intention, then I believe that the latest and greatest technology, which will set you back $10,000, is an important thing to consider. If you want to get started in prospecting and just see if you like it, then my advice is don't buy a detector at all. Hire it. There's plenty of places, shops that you can hire a good metal detector for. And yes, there's an outlay, but the most important thing is that you find out whether you like the idea. The idea becomes something that you actually embrace. Where you're out bush, swinging this electronic device around like an absolute numpty, finding, what did you get today? Tin and rubbish.
Yeah.
But potentially gold. How good's that?
Yeah, like if I had just a small piece of gold.
Yeah.
Oh man, that would make my day. But it doesn't mean that I'm not gonna go out again.
Mm-hmm.
I actually learned something new about the noises that I hear and what they mean.
Yep.
Having a magnet would be handy.
Yeah. Yeah. To get rid of that ferrous metal junk, we sort of need to understand that a metal detector is a metal detector. So it picks up ferrous and non-ferrous metals and gold. And because we have sort of 150 odd years or more of mining in the gold fields, there's junk everywhere. There's old timers, tin cans and junk, and you name it. and it's those tiny little annoying little bits of wire that slow you down. But dare I say, as to quote Dolly Parton, if you want the rainbow, you've got to put up with the rain. And in metal detecting, if you want the gold, you've got to put up with a bit of junk. And that's what makes, if it was easy, everyone would be doing it. That's the key to it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely.
And you seem to have a spirit of adventure. That seems to be a very strong part of your personality, if I'm right.
I think anyone who would be interested in prospecting would have that
I
sense
agree.
of adventure.
Yeah. Seeking a connection with Mother Nature, I think, is an important part. Potentially creating a bit of wealth. Why not? There's nothing wrong with that. And I think also, I think these days we live in such a risk managed society where everything, and you work in the mining industry, we cannot put anyone in a position where they could be hurt. Prospecting is still a workplace out here, whether it's as a tourist or as a professional prospector, where things can go wrong. There's an element of risk of being out here, whether it's animals or the environment or what have you. So I think it's actually healthy for human beings to experience risk in their lives. And I sort of get the feeling from you that you sort of embrace that a little bit.
Yeah. How many prospectors do you think are around here in a good month?
I would say in a good year, thousands.
Thousands.
Yeah. So
Just in Leonora and around it?
Yeah,
Or?
I'd say that's not within a couple of 100 kilometres over the course of a season. To prospect in Western Australia legally, you need to purchase a Western Australian miner's right. It's just under 30 Australian dollars. And I believe it was last year they issued over 4,000 of those in last year alone. And that gives us a good gauge of how popular the pastime is. So it's prospecting. The demographic is particularly retirees. Sort of that 55 to 75 age group as well. But more and more young people, right? Bloody millennials that are rock clickers, you name it. But it's wonderful seeing more and more young people coming through, and that's sort of what whilst we're rambling, that's what I actually hope is that more and more young people can see the excitement of it. They can embrace the hard work and the toughness of it, and because it's your generation. We're not that far apart, but your generation that...
Just 50 years.
50 years. That's a bit rude. 15? 20?
No, 50.
Oh. Okay.
How old are you, may I ask?
Well, I'm just... I'm
90?
59. 59 years of age, you bastard. But anyway, you can edit that out if you like as well. So, yeah, 59 years of age, and I do believe it's really important that younger generations are encouraged to see the excitement and the value of it, because they're ultimately what will carry the industry forward.
I think for my generation and maybe the next generation, it's more the concern that for spending that length of time, how much we can get back.
Sure.
And I think that's a very legit question.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's just weighing it up, saying, okay, it's worth it or not. But I think when you see people like you, that they make a living out of this, so it shows something. Shows that it works.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's a very valid point. And so what I try to encourage people when they're starting off is to guess, if you like, or have a think about what it is they want out of prospecting. am I just doing it for a hobby, or am I trying to make a little bit of money out of it? It's sort of, and that's a very fluid thing. You start with one and you wind up with another if you're enjoying it, and so on. The thing I would say is that prospecting is a fantastic level playing field. It is and it isn't. It's a level playing field in that the gold is there. There's no doubt about that in my mind, and there will be gold there in hundreds of years. But the difference between people finding it and not finding it is luck. There's an element of luck, which I don't like because I'm not a gambling man. But as well as the luck, it's the individual's knowledge and experience. Okay, and to be honest, that's why we get a lot of people coming to us doing these training courses, because they want to shorten their learning curve. You know, instead of 10 years, they can learn it in a year or two, and they're away. But the difference is the person that's doing the prospecting. The gold's there, and absolutely you can make a living out of it. What I would say with caution is that the majority do not. They make some fundamental human mistakes with it. But for those that stay in it, there can be very large rewards. Okay. And I think what I would say is that we get the questions all the time of, Tony, what do you think? Should I try and make a living out of gold? Should I get a bulldozer? Should I do this? Should I do that? And my standard answer will come down to who it is I'm talking to. If I'm talking to Millard that's, a millennial and is looking at maybe getting married and a housing loan and everything else, my honest answer is to say, well, you're probably going to do better financially out of the profession you have. Okay? And you can still satisfy the adventure in a part-time capacity. If I'm speaking to someone in their 50s and 60s who have retired and they've got a certain amount of capital behind them, I'm going to say, give it a go, mate. Give it a bloody go, because, we are not around forever. Yeah, sure. Time flies, tempus fugit.
Speaking of flies, it's not because we haven't had a shower in the last 2 weeks.
Yeah.
It's, just this area has a lot of flies.
And just to clarify, just to make sure that like we don't shower together. We just say I'm married, happy. No judgment, just say.
So you've got your channel, YouTube channel.
We do.
Yep. My apologies that I haven't gone through your videos yet.
Yeah, I imagine you're going to go through my videos in sort of a weird stalky type of way. That's what I'm hoping anyway. Okay. I certainly will be doing that with yours. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. No, we've got a little YouTube channel, and if you just search Gold Talk Leonora on YouTube, you'll track us down. Gold Talk Leonora, and it's just for a bit of fun. We don't try to be anything we're not. I think a primary purpose of the YouTube channel is to get information out there that we think is correct to try and help people out. And also to have a bit of fun with it as well, take the piss out of ourselves and other people.
So I don't want to make it for too long, but because rules and regulations are another point, have you covered it in your channel, or would you like to very quickly say? Yeah,
look, we have a number of sort of videos that are pointing people in the right direction. What I would say, and probably the right way to express it, is if any of you watching this think, geez, I'd like to give this a go. First of all, learn about it and have a go. That's I couldn't encourage you strongly enough. But you do need to understand that there are rules and regulations that come into play, and it's just a fact of life. And it is very important that you get the right information about how to go about prospecting out here. There's a lot of information online. You can come along and do training courses, forums, through the Mines Department website. There's an endless array of information out there. It's as well, and the idea of learning is hopefully going to be fun and part of the process, and it won't dampen your enthusiasm, but it's really important that you do that. You just got to check those boxes.
Sure.
And then learn.
Yeah. And we had a 3-day course here with Tony and Lisa. It was fantastic. Lots of good humor, lots of learnings. We did some panning. We went out to the field, did some prospecting for 4 or 5 hours, I would say.
Yeah.
We talked about the laws. We talked about geology, which was pretty impressive.
Thank you.
And I really recommend it. Actually,
Thank you.
very recommend it. And I'm not getting paid to say that.
You're damn right you're not getting paid to say that. Just don't even go down that path.
But I think, and that was my belief when I came here, that that's the best way of learning, because prospecting might seem easy, but it has lots of tricks.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that Tony is a tricky man, but he's got a lot of tricks for prospecting at least.
What I will say is that Lisa and I have a lot of experience, and with experience you learn the shortcuts. It's one thing to understand theory, but it's another thing to understand how to adapt that theory into a practical application. And hopefully that's what we do on our training courses. Yeah, shortcut people's learning curves. Ultimately, one of my main motivators, as I sort of expressed before, but one of my main motivators for doing the training courses is that we want people to succeed. We want them to find gold, but we want them to be successful, continue in the hobby, and just enjoy the bush. I mean, it's good for small towns, but it's more importantly, it's good for people's soul to get out here and enjoy what Mother Nature has to offer. Particularly when it's like 45 degrees and bush flies are eating the back of your eyeballs out, and you've got septic infections from mulga steaks and things like that. But mostly it's a good thing.
Cool.
You didn't know where that was going, did you?
No. Well, I think we have covered the essentials. I really appreciate it, Tony.
Very welcome.
Guys, you can go to Tony's channel again, Gold Talk Leonora.
Gold Talk Leonora, yep.
And enjoy all the good videos that I haven't watched yet.
Yes, with my sparkling sense of humour.
Yes.
Well,
Well, thank you so much, Tony. Thank you.
It's so good.